gonna hear about my party, they're gonna be shutting them down, they're gonna probably be arresting me.
Did Diddy really predict his own arrest 25 years ago? Or was it just an eerie coincidence? Well, in a resurfaced 1999 interview, Diddy hinted at his parties being shut down, and even joked about getting arrested for them one day. Fast forward to now, and his recent arrest for sex trafficking has the internet buzzing. But this story goes deeper. Wendy Williams, who had her own long-standing feud with Diddy, warned about his controlling behavior years ago. Was Wendy onto something all along? Welcome to Inside Celebs, and stick around to find out the connections between Diddy's wild predictions and Wendy's revelations. Let's start with a moment from 1999 that's almost eerie in hindsight. During an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Sean Diddy Combs, at the height of his fame, made a bold remark. His parties, infamous for their extravagance and A-list guests, were becoming the stuff of legend and trouble. Diddy mentioned that authorities were starting to shut them down, saying they wouldn't even give him permits anymore. But what really stuck out was his comment that they might one day arrest him for it. He joked about the inevitable crackdown, but there was something more to it. He wasn't just talking about wild parties. He was talking about breaking down barriers, about people feeling intimidated by the kinds of gatherings he threw, which brought together people from different backgrounds and statuses. At the time, Diddy's remarks seemed more like the musings of a rebellious mogul who saw himself as a disruptor in the entertainment industry. He boasted about his parties being the perfect setting for breaking racial and generational boundaries, where big names like Jay-Z and Ron Perlman could casually mingle. He made it sound like his events were shaking up the status quo, and that's why people were coming after him. But today, with his recent arrest on federal charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, these comments feel a lot heavier. It's as if Diddy wasn't just predicting a crackdown on his parties, but a future where his controversial lifestyle would come under fire in ways no one expected. The real twist in this story is how Diddy's own words seem to foreshadow his downfall. Back then, it was all about pushing limits, and he wore that rebellious badge with pride. But fast forward 25 years, and his arrest makes us look back at those comments with a different lens. Did he see that his way of life, the very thing that made him famous, would also be his downfall? But that wasn't the only prediction. Wendy Williams calls out Diddy's control in 2015. You see, she has never been one to shy away from the industry's biggest names. While her feud with Diddy is one of the most public, it's far from the only time she's gone head-to-head with the entertainment elite. Note that over the years, she has made headlines for speaking out against stars like Whitney Houston, Beyoncé, and even Method Man. Though she's often faced backlash for her candid takes, time and again, her warnings have proven to be eerily accurate. The industry may have tried to sideline her, but her fearless approach to discussing the darker side of fame has left a lasting impact. Fans have often called her a voice of truth in a world where much of what happens behind the scenes is kept hidden. And back in 2019, she called out Diddy. This was during one of her talk show episodes when she didn't hold back when discussing Diddy's relationship with Cassie Ventura. At that time, Cassie had just broken up with Diddy, and Wendy voiced some serious concerns for her safety. She pointed out that when you're involved with a mogul as powerful as Diddy, it's nearly impossible to escape their influence. Wendy went as far as to say that Diddy, with his vast resources, could find Cassie anywhere, even if she was halfway across the globe. Her comments were not just casual gossip. She painted a very real picture of the kind of power Diddy held, not just in the music world, but in his personal relationships. She described him as someone who could swoop down and gain access to Cassie's life whenever he wanted, whether through financial control, connections, or sheer influence. What's striking is that these comments came years before any legal allegations or lawsuits, long before people began to speak openly about Diddy's darker side. Wendy seemed to sense something off about the dynamics of Diddy's relationships, warning that his controlling nature could have serious consequences. Their history only adds more weight to her words. The history between Wendy Williams and Diddy isn't just about her comments on his behavior. it's also rooted in a long-standing and very public feud. Let's take it back to 1998. Wendy was a force on Hot 97 radio, known for being brutally honest about celebrities. Diddy, on the other hand, was at the peak of his fame as a hip-hop mogul. The tension between them ignited when Wendy accused Diddy of playing a role in getting her fired from the radio station. She even claimed in her 2004 book, The Wendy Williams Experience, that Diddy had single-handedly tried to ruin her career. She didn't hold back in detailing the hell he allegedly put her through. Now, Wendy wasn't the type to just roll over when things got tough. Even after losing her job, she continued to build her career, eventually becoming one of the most recognized talk show hosts in America. Still, that bad blood with Diddy lingered for years. It wasn't until 2017, nearly 2 decades after the drama first started, that Diddy appeared on Wendy's talk show. The two put on a public display of reconciliation, sharing a full circle moment, as Wendy called it. However, even with their public peace, Wendy's earlier warnings about Diddy's controlling nature haven't faded from memory. Her fans have long remembered how she wasn't afraid to call him out. Today, as Diddy's legal troubles mount, people are revisiting her claims and seeing her feud with him in a different light. But again, this is Diddy, one of the most powerful moguls out there. You might wonder, what's the worst that can happen to him? Diddy has long been viewed as a powerful force, not just in the music industry, but in his personal life as well. His reputation as a mogul with far-reaching influence is undeniable, but Wendy Williams, years ago, hinted at something more troubling: the control he employed over the people closest to him. Her concerns were rooted in how Diddy used his power, not just to succeed in business, but to dominate the relationships in his life. The same influence that propelled him to the top of the music industry may have also played a darker role behind closed doors, affecting the lives of those around him in ways the public is only now beginning to understand. But his power might be coming to an end. The cause? His arrest. Of course, we have seen the news, and his arrest has sent shockwaves through the media. It was the result of a lengthy federal investigation, which brought to light some serious allegations. His legal team, however, was quick to respond, stating that he had fully cooperated with the authorities and maintained his innocence. While his arrest has dominated headlines, it's just the tip of the iceberg. The key here is understanding how his power and influence have now come under intense scrutiny. Will he survive? Meanwhile, Wendy's revelations are surely spicing his case up. The public's reaction to Wendy's revelations has been striking. Many of Wendy's fans have taken to social media, pointing out how she had exposed Diddy's behavior years before any official charges came to light. People are now crediting Wendy with having the courage to call out the industry's darker side, even if her warnings went largely unnoticed back then. It's a powerful moment of vindication for Wendy, especially given her own tumultuous history with Diddy. The ripple effect of her comments has also sparked broader conversations about the entertainment industry's ability to shield its biggest stars from scrutiny. Wendy's insights have reminded the public of how long-standing patterns of behavior can go unchecked, especially when someone has as much power as Diddy. Now, with the weight of legal investigations bearing down, Wendy's revelations are being viewed as a critical piece of a much larger puzzle. What are your views? Could this be just the beginning of more shocking truths that are yet to surface? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.